The definition of an entrepreneur should be, right, someone that just will do whatever it takes to make it happen.
What's up, captains? Now, before we dive into today's episode, I have a very exciting announcement. I am now officially accepting applications to work one-on-one with me in the next round of the Captain's Lifestyle program. The next group starts July 1st, and I am only accepting 10 clients. July 1st is exactly halfway through 2021. So if you're not 100% satisfied with the way the first half of the year has gone for both you and your business, this is the perfect opportunity to get things back on track. I work specifically with social entrepreneurs who want to grow their impact, optimize their work-life balance, and fulfill their entrepreneurial vision. We accomplish this by maximizing your health, happiness, and productivity. Over the course of the 3-month program, we cover the 6 pillars of optimized human performance: mindset and brain health, sleep, communication, nutrition, exercise, and biohacks. Basically everything you need to take you and your business from average to excellent. But don't take my word for it. Listen to what my former client, Nori, a financial consultant and founder of a nonprofit organization, has to say. Best decision of my life was signing up. Thanks, Taylor. I mean, come on. On average, my clients are able to increase their time management and productivity by over 300%. Imagine what you could do if you were 300 times more productive than you are right now. What would that even feel like? Well, if you're one of the lucky 10 who get accepted into my program, you'll get to find out for yourself. To start the application process, head over to info.thecaptainslifestyle.com and enter your name and email. Again, that's info.thecaptainslifestyle.com and in your name and email. All right, now on to today's show. Hello, and welcome aboard another episode of the Captain's Lifestyle Podcast. This is your captain speaking, Taylor Morgan. On today's episode, we have another special guest. But before we dive into the episode, I just want to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by the Captain's Lifestyle Program, my signature 90-day business and lifestyle mentorship for entrepreneurs. So if you're interested in learning more or to apply to my coaching, head over to thecaptainslifestyle.com and fill out the initial assessment so we can see if you would be a good fit for the program. Now on to the episode. Like I said, today we have a special guest. His name is Wohl. Yep, try to say that 5 times fast. Joel is the co-founder at Bizfluence, where they are building a better social business networking platform for small businesses. At Bizfluence, they want to give small to medium-sized businesses a chance to cut through the noise, the spam, and the cold connections on other platforms and hyper-focus on building real relationships and real business. Joel, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get into a little background about yourself. Tell us about Wohl.
I'm still trying to find myself at 40, so it's hard to really talk about myself. But background in consumer products and got into the agency model doing e-commerce advertising. And that shifted things a lot for me because when you're selling products, unless you're a super brand and you really know your stuff and you've got good products, you end up becoming a commodity and you're just competing on price. You just become a salesman, and it's just like, it gets very, I don't know what the word is, but it's tiring, right? You're chasing a dollar, you lose the account, someone brought the exact same product from China for cheaper. So once I got into the agency thing, now it's harder to scale, right? It's harder to get, $1 million order, right? Because you're getting clients and you're charging them fees. But what changes is it starts being about yourself, right? So if you try to go out and hire an advertising agency, I mean, you can start at $500 a month in management fees, and $1 million in management fees. It all depends on who you're working with. So it starts becoming about, the actual, the man, right? The woman behind the agency. And when you start focusing on yourself, you start really learning about yourself, because now you got to be explaining to clients, like, what is it about your agency, about your company, about your service that's better, and it all starts at the top. It all starts with the entrepreneur that's leading the agency. So that definitely shifted my mindset. I started creating content. I started being pretty good at it. And I really discovered those things about me. And what I did not discover, I had all these people telling me, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it. So I guess my story is a story of self-discovery, which, it's still ongoing. I am not shy to admit it. When I was 20, I thought I knew who I am. It's 40, and I still don't know. I'm still learning, and that's in my from my perspective, it's kind of our role is to always be learning. And the human story is that you're not cooked. You're constantly evolving. You're constantly improving. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, the first part of my program, we dive deep into figuring out who you are, who you want to be, where you want to take your company. Because if you don't have that end goal in mind, how are you ever going to get there? It's like a lot of people are just running on autopilot, just working at what they're told is, a good job, do this, do that. And like they said, or like you said, sometimes you wake up and you're like, I don't like where I'm going. Something's got to change. So what was it that influenced you to build Bizfluence?
Oh, well, truth be told, I was suspended off of LinkedIn. Sometimes I let my mouth get the best of me, and I'll just say whatever comes to mind, which should be okay, right, in a free society. But unfortunately, our society is no longer free. It's just the way it is. We can't cry about it. And I got suspended off of LinkedIn. And being that I was always like truly business focused, I I was at a loss because there are no other platforms. Like there's LinkedIn. That's it. And then it just hit me as like a shock. Like, why is there only LinkedIn? Like in the social, there's every kind of social platform, whether it's music or dancing or videos or tweeting or Facebook, the whole ecosystem thing. So all these different things. And then I said, what if we created something better? And this didn't just happen in a second. It happened in 2 weeks. That's pretty fast. But what really prompted it was people reaching out and saying, Joel, you should do your own thing. And, other people coming forward and saying, hey, we'll join you, and trying to help you with development, with design. And then other people saying, hey, if you do this, we're going to invest, whatever it was, you know, 10K here, 10K there. I mean, people did come forward and they say, well, we'll make small investments. And we decided to follow that path. And we came up with my co-founder, Jacob, who's been my development partner in our agency for the last couple of years. And we came up with like a small little beta test that worked. This is all within 2 weeks. And we said, you know what, we got something here. So we quickly put together a wait list. We let people know we're going to be raising a couple of dollars for it. We raised like $160,000, which is not a whole lot of money when you want to launch a new social platform or a social business platform. But we got it off the ground. And it was a giant bet. I mean, this is 9 months ago, and it still is a giant bet. Only at this point, there is more traction. We see it happening. Like that inflection point is coming where we're going to just start getting thousands of new users, a week. So that's the story. That's it.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that you got banned from LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is actually how I found Bizfluence. There was a post of like which platform, which like social platform are you most excited about, or something like that. And then somebody commented Bizfluence, and me being the interested, I guess curious would be a better word, person that I am, I was like, hey, I haven't heard of that platform. I'll go check it out. Because as I'm trying to build my own brand, it's important to build brand awareness on all different platforms, and especially being new, like being first on the scene on a new platform is extremely beneficial. And so I checked it out, and my first post, I just posted it, forgot about it for 2 days, came back, I checked, and there was like 5 responses. And the post was, hey, I host a podcast where I interview charitable company founders. If you or somebody you know would be a good fit to come on and promote themselves, let me know. And then that's how I got in contact with you. I've booked a few other podcasts through that. And, if I would have done that on LinkedIn, I probably would have got nothing. And so that got me excited. And so, yeah, and this was just 3 days ago. But by the time this podcast will have been released, this will have been like, I don't know, a month or two ago. But yeah, so Bizfluence, by the time you're hearing this, is probably pretty big, and you should definitely get on it ASAP. Just from the organic reach that I've been able to see by connecting with, like you say, real people, making real connections. You don't really get that on Instagram or Facebook, because both of those platforms are now 100% paid to play. Like, in order for you to grow your brand, you've got to pay for ads. So talk to me a little bit more about what Bizfluence is and who it's for.
Yeah, so I'm just writing down pay to play shift. So we're shifting the conversation. First of all, like I had a VC reach out to us, and I made a vow to my partner, and I said, we're not reaching out to VCs until like we prove ourselves. Like the definition of an entrepreneur should be, right, someone that just will do whatever it takes to make it happen. And the same goes for a startup, so if you go out there and you just pitch VCs nonstop, you're going to get some idiot to give you $1 million, and your idea might suck, right? We don't want to do that. Like we really feel strongly about proving our model, and we want to build together, which is why we started a WeFunder right now, which is live, which we're going to be raising $1 million. And really, it's just a way to engage our users and to bring in like very excited users, because to market a WeFunder campaign, that alone will probably cost us $500,000, to get the million, which is fine. It's all about getting out there, but it's still, it's going to drive our growth. So we're really changing things up. When you talk about a social platform that, where it's pay to play, right, where you can't really make those connections anymore. Anyway, so one of the things I was going to say that so I had this VC reach out, a real large VC. Like I Googled them, they have 30 people on LinkedIn, and so they had a conversation with me. And the first thing I told them, listen, I'm not going to give you no pitch. I'm just going to say this: we're the Lyft to LinkedIn's Uber. Like, there's only one LinkedIn. There's 15 food deliveries. Like, why is there only one LinkedIn? So now LinkedIn, in truth, is a database, right? So you can't really have two databases, right? But beyond that, it's a way to connect. It's a way to build relationships. It's a way to find leads. So a database, great, you can go to Google for a database, but, in a sense, right? But to make those connections and to build those relationships, LinkedIn isn't working. So, and even if it is, let's do another one, right? So I literally took 3 seconds and I said, we're just building another LinkedIn. How about that? What do you say to that? And then I said, ask me any questions. I'm going to explain to you why we need another LinkedIn. But the point is that we're not building a place for people to get more visibility, like another social, like, become an early adopter on TikTok. That's not what it's about. It's about connecting, building relationships, and the most important point is transacting on those relationships. So we want to be a self-contained ecosystem where you come on, you're going to be connecting, and not in the way that you connect on other social where you actually hit connect. We're not talking about that. You're going to be, right now, whatever you're seeing is very beta. So it's all developing. But the point is that the connections are going to happen much more organically, based on geography, based on location, right? Based on interests, based on profession. And then you're going to have your profile page is also going to be a business page. It can be like a mini website where you're actually selling your products and services, kind of like Upwork style. We want to tap into the gig, sharing type of thing. So maybe you want to share office space, right? Maybe you want to rent out that spare desk in your office. We want to build a platform where every little detail of your workday that happens online, right, should be happening on Bizfluence. In other words, if you join LinkedIn, there's only a couple of functionalities there for you. Like you can, at this point, and it's going more and more and more social. So it's really about posting, getting visibility, getting your name out there, right? So if you were on a podcast, great, you want to get, millions of views and then thousands of actual podcast subscribers. Here, you're not aiming for millions of views. You're aiming directly for the conversion of those thousands of subscribers. And we want to get people that are already naturally inclined towards podcasts, so that if one of your interests is podcasts and maybe, social impact, like they should automatically see you in their feed, and really cut that lead time, that conversion, that funnel, that just, endless. And I did it on LinkedIn. I know what I'm talking about. Like I would get 100,000 views every single day. Okay. As I was, right before I was being suspended, I was building and building. And I mean, the leads, like it's a lot. I had to spend 6 hours a day on LinkedIn to get that. We don't want you to spend 6 hours a day. We want you to spend a half hour a day, but get to work, do what you need to do. And then obviously use like a Calendly type feature, use a Zoom type feature, payment processing, like all that stuff right there. So you go in, it's not fragmented. It's not, it's all seamless. And that's the objective. One of the things, and interrupt me whenever you want, it's your podcast. One of the things that people don't really understand about LinkedIn is that, people are complaining, like, why is it that I'm getting all this stuff in my feed? Like, why am I seeing things that are not important? Why are all these unimportant things getting millions of views, and then yet my professional post gets nothing? And the point is that LinkedIn is being driven by advertising dollars. So in LinkedIn's defense, there's one thing they want: eyeballs on the screen. Now, if you're going to put a post out there of you skateboarding with your dog and I don't know, doing some cool tricks, that's going to get a lot of views because it's interesting, frankly, right? That's why YouTube and TikTok exist. And that's why Fail Army they're multi-billionaires at this point, because it's interesting and we're humans and we're going to watch it if it comes across our screen. And LinkedIn lives on that ad revenue, same as every social platform. And they're actually digging deeper into it with their creator mode and all this other stuff they're trying to roll out to be like all the other platforms. We do not want to rely on ad revenue. We don't want to push ads. If we have any value, we need to monetize on that value. What value do we have? Well, ads, that's not value. So if we can offer value to Taylor, maybe you can host your podcast right on the platform. Maybe you can launch your podcast and find subscribers and get advertisers and do all that, like right on Bizfluence. That's value. And if we give you that value, give us 7.5%, whatever, right? That's how we look at monetizing it. Hence, it's all value first based. Let's give you tools and features you need in your workday. And then the platform will monetize. The platform will make money.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, so you're planning on essentially having it act as a type of second website for everybody's business?
That too. Like, in a sense, you may at some point may even be able to take that website, so to speak, off of Bizfluence or use it independent of it. Maybe have like taylormorgan.bizfluence, and that's like your little website. So if you don't have a Shopify site, or if you don't, right, you can have that. So picture, most social creators, like semi-influencers, micro-influencers, they may not have websites, right? They may just be posting on TikTok, on Instagram, on whatever. Here, they can actually build their own little thing. And then, yeah, one of the things we're discussing is giving them the ability to take it off of Bizfluence or just have access outside of Bizfluence. So their business card, or however they get their name out, can just be, their website at Bizfluence. So we're really thinking very smart about this, and we're being very thoughtful. We're not like a pie in the sky. It's all doable, and we're going to be doing it one thing at a time. And that's it. It's easy. If you can do it one thing at a time, it's easy.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yo, Taylor here. So I'm sure you've heard me harp on sleep and basically every single podcast and video that I put out, because it truly is that important. And I'm excited to announce that I've created something very simple and very tactical that you guys can use to start improving your sleep immediately. In fact, it is the fastest way to improve the quality of your sleep and therefore the quality of your life, with amazing results after just one single night of implementation. Seriously, this is the same nightly ritual that I personally use, and it's the same strategy that I teach all of my high-performing clients in the Captain's Lifestyle program. It's the 4-3-2-1-30 method, and I'm giving it away to you guys for free. All you have to do is follow the link in my Instagram bio or in the show notes of this podcast, and I'll send it over so you can start sleeping better tonight. But please do not sleep on this offer. It's literally free, so no excuses. Go do it, and sweet dreams. You said Bizfluence is only 9 months old, correct? At the time of this recording?
Yeah, I mean, it's not only is it 9 months old from conception, meaning most apps first get a year of playing around with and building, and then we launched literally at conception. Like we said, baby's born when it wasn't born yet. It was just conceived. So now we're seeing early users who left because it wasn't fully developed or the app wasn't there yet. Like they're coming back, and it's just bringing more people, and there's traction at this point. There's traction.
Are you seeing a lot of people convert from LinkedIn to Bizfluence?
So like, look, if I had a LinkedIn account, I'd be pounding that too, right? Because I'm a content creator, so I get that it's easy for me, and I enjoy it. So I'm not gonna lie to you, right? And at some point, someone's going to quote me on that. If your podcast gets really popular and I get really popular, otherwise no one cares, right? But the intention is not to. But as a like, let's say small business owner, let's say you're just a boring little guy, right, or woman, right, out there, just you're an accountant, whatever. You're just doing your thing. You're trying to get leads, which 90% of America and the world, it's all they want is just have a place where they can. And then you go to the BNIs, you go to all these networking events. What for? Not to be like a content creator. You go there to meet people and to do business and to convert and to feed your family. Like I say, it's not about feeding the algorithm; it's about feeding your family. That's it. So what was your question? I can't even remember what I'm talking about. So like if you want to stay on, like if you want to use LinkedIn, use it like for whatever you could. I think we're going to coexist for many years until we dominate and take over and buy them out. But until then, I mean, it's only what, like $78 billion that they're worth. But until then, I mean, it's just another application for you to use. And as we continue to build out, these features and functions that we're talking about, I'm telling you, it's going to be a good place to hang out. So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Big plans.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what is it that you were building on LinkedIn before that was getting hundreds of thousands of views per day that got you kicked off?
That's not what got me kicked off. What got me kicked off is like the whole Corona thing.
Yeah.
I, like everyone else, I went a little nuts with like just sitting home for months and months, and I got more political, let's say. None of the conspiracy stuff, like none of that, like bad misinformation, which I mean, come on, how ridiculous is that? If you want to sit here and talk about vaccines or not vaccines, masks, not masks, go ahead, talk all you want. Like, by the way, on Bizfluence, we just created networks. So, meaning we created networks so that if you want to talk about politics, go there. You want to talk about, pop culture, go there. Main feed is professional storytelling and, personal stuff. So yeah, I wasn't even into conspiracies. I was just, talking this, that, the other thing. One of the things that got me on was posting some kind of Bill Gates video, and it was not one of those crazy things. It was very simply, there was a famous video of him a couple years back talking about the potential of this kind of, pandemic. And it was just like, wow. And I reposted this video, and that was one of the things they cited. I also got into it with users. Like, I'm not very good with the whole woke culture. And as we can see, all the woke culture has contributed to us is cancel culture and a ton of hate and division, which it ironically is all like wrapped up in like anti-hate, right? They're all like anti-racist, but they're the ones that are driving any kind of racism that we see. So I spoke, like, if I see these flaky woke posts, like I'll just comment on them, and people reported me like the little lefty babies they are. And like, one thing about the right, and I don't really identify myself as either. Like I just me, like whatever my thoughts are on any particular subject, and they change too, by the way, like gun, anti-gun, I don't know, right? So like they just reported me, right? Yeah. One thing about the right, like they're not going to be reporting anyone. They speak up, and that's it. Like, or block the person. Like, seriously. So I had a couple of those things, and they just suspended me, like, permanently. And I'm like, I've got thousands of inbox. Like, I've got thousands of connections. I cannot live without this. What the hell are you doing? Well, sorry, permanent suspension. Like, I personally helped thousands of nurses during Corona. I mean, I said, check my posts, you can check my direct messages. Like, I helped hundreds and hundreds of people find jobs in the last 2 years. I've hosted two of the largest LinkedIn meetups, ironically, again, two of the largest LinkedIn meetups in history. I posted. They were global. One of them got me suspended for using their trademark LinkedIn when I'm trying to help them attract users to their platform. It's just crazy stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's just I think it's we're at a point in society where there's let's say the woke, right, and then there's the anti-woke, and the woke are ruling. And it's not even about right or left. It's not even about political ideas. It's just about like insanity. And I think that you can't really fight it at this point, because I think they're just too strong. I think corporate America, like big tech, they're all just too strong. Like, we can't fight it, but we can lean into our ideas and our strengths. So someone like me that's building this platform, like, I'm not fighting anybody. I'm not calling them out. Like, the platform is agnostic. It's not political. We're not woke or anti-woke. We're not, we're not coming down on like racial issues. We're not, calling anyone out, like Ben and Jerry's, like defund the police. I mean, like, you're an ice cream company. Like, next time I go to the store, I'm not buying Ben and Jerry's. Like, that's it, right?
Absolutely.
But like, I don't believe like that boycott thing is going to work either. Like, I think we have to lean into it. And I think that the companies that will come out strongly in favor of just being peaceful, not going like the My Pillow route where you're just like, oh, everything is fake and elections are fake and da, da, da. Just hint at the fact that no, we support the police, and we're not getting involved, and we're not defunding anyone. Like, that's what Haagen-Dazs should say, right? I think that's going to we need like a giant tidal wave of small actions, instead of like a couple of individual companies just making big motions. And also, when you make those big, political statements, you're going to attract a lot of crazies. Then what happens is big tech and, the woke culture, who are already very powerful, will only get more powerful. for example, if Trump launches a social media platform, he's going to attract some of the extreme right as well, right? Never mind that the extreme left lives openly and does whatever the hell they want, but you're going to attract some of the extreme right, and then the big tech and all of them are just going to be more bold and say, hey, see, look, look, the Nazis, like you've got the Nazis. So that's why I don't feel personally that that's the way to go. Rather just stick to it and don't make a big fuss and just try to attract like-minded people, and then groundswell of just sane people, I think, are just going to slowly change that narrative over.
Yeah, it's amazing how much power these companies have, because I experienced something similar. My account was not permanently banned, but I posted something about COVID as well on my Instagram story, and overnight my story views dropped from like 500 plus to like 20, and it was just ridiculous. It's like, if so, I mean, we could go on a whole tangent on that. I don't really want to get too deep into that because yeah, that could be a whole nother podcast in and of itself. But have you heard of Bitclout?
I did. I don't understand what it is though.
It's a decentralized social media platform. So it's essentially a Twitter, but with nobody who can like permanently ban you, essentially.
I thought it was like a Bitcoin thing.
Oh, well, that's absolutely part of it.
Because I went on it and I can't
Yeah, so how it works is you can invest in influencers and creators, in businesses, in people that you believe who will succeed, that their value will go up. But as of right now, at the time of this recording, there is currently no way through Bitclout to transfer your supposed funds. There's over-the-counter methods, meaning like third-party sources who are exchanging what's called Bitclout, the site's currency, to real dollars. I talked to somebody on Clubhouse about that yesterday. So there are third-party people who can do it, but currently there's no way to do that in-app. There's no official way. So it should be thought of as like a game, essentially. If you put any money into it, then think of it as monopoly money. You're just playing a fun investing game in people. So any money you put into there, you should expect to lose. I personally don't think that it's going to be a scam. I think that it's going to be the next, huge social media platform. But just as a kind of disclaimer, currently there is no way to withdraw the funds. So a lot of people do think it is a scam. But one of the things I like about it is that it is decentralized. So you can say whatever the fuck you want. And
right. So I think like that's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, obviously the whole Bitcoin thing, and that's taken off like crazy, but and like the virtual, this having platforms tied to blockchain and the NFTs and all that stuff. There's that whole, well, it's more than an industry. It's just like this thing is exploding, right? Yeah. But like when it comes to like the decentralization and the privacy and all that, I think that in a way it is it's like an escape from reality. And like why give up the mainstream stuff, like the stuff you do every day? It's like saying, let's not go to the grocery anymore. Let's do some kind of, I don't know, well, let's just do online because the groceries are all like racist. Well, let's continue to go grocery and let's just try to do our part to make it not racist, right? So I'm saying like going too far, like to with all this like decentralization and privacy and all that, I think a lot of that's going to filter down in a good way to traditional platforms that are going to try to kind of like go, like for us now, for me, privacy, I never even thought about it, but with the times that we're living in, like we're going to have a huge focus on that type of stuff, right? The way we store data and like all that stuff. So I think it's trickle down, and it's going to change the future platforms. Like the future Facebooks are going to be very differently built. But to go all the way on this thing, I think it's just maybe a bit too fast for some people.
So my question specifically to you is, how is Bizfluence going to kind of regulate what people are saying? Because obviously I know you're not going to want it to be like like LinkedIn. I know you're not going to want people to have experiences like you had. So how are you going to make it, like, is it going to be not decentralized because it's not on the blockchain, but what are are there any regulations on what people can post in there? Like, are people going to be bans? Like, how is that going to work?
Right. So we have a very unique way of looking at it. So first of all, we divide it into networks, which helps a lot. Like if you're not into politics or if you hate politics and business, like don't join the politics network. Um, we're gonna try to create a better block functionality and spam protection that are filters that are just work better to try to avoid these kind of situations. And the main thing for us is as a platform, we're a professional entity. So there's decorum, right? There's professional guidelines that have nothing to do with um, did you say this, like misinformation. Like it's not our job to filter misinformation, and I think that it's not our job even, I'm just going to say this, to filter threats. Like it's not Facebook's job to filter threats. You know whose job it is? It's the FBI. Like, you know, it's absurd the onus that we're putting on these platforms to regulate what people say. It's none of their business. They're platforms.
Yeah.
Like, it's like holding the telephone company responsible for what I say to you. I mean, think about it this way, right? If we were having a DM on Facebook or on Parlor, right? They were saying, oh, they were planning the attacks, whatever. What's that got to do with Facebook? And I'm not a Facebook fan. Trust me, right? But what's that got to do with Facebook? I mean, is Verizon responsible that the terrorists in 9/11 used Verizon phones to communicate? It's ridiculous, and you see that with Zoom canceling certain types of events, and Eventbrite did that as well. They canceled like a pro-Trump march. It's like
Wow.
you're just a facilitator, you're a connector, and if there's a problem like a legal issue, yeah, maybe you initiate the FBI. That if you're a good citizen, you don't need to though. Like the FBI should take care of their own business, or other users can report something to the FBI, or maybe the FBI needs to launch a very official virtual online FBI so that everyone knows about it, and you just go to like a 911 type of thing, and you just report incidents. That's it. So but let me get away from that. I told you I go off topic. For us, it's a professional joint. So it's like you're at a business conference. So we're going to apply similar rules. So if someone uses the F word, okay, like unfortunately, it's very common these days to use that, right? But if someone says F you little piece of, then we're like, wait a second. What would happen if they did that at a business conference? They would probably be escorted out. We say, hey, we're probably not gonna suspend your account for doing that, but we'll say, that's not acceptable. And once we build a better reporting system, like maybe you have 3 reports against you, like either you commit to never doing it again, and maybe you're on like probation, or you're out. Like choose. I had a guy the other day that was posting. Oh man, I gotta go. I gotta go in 2 minutes. Posting in Hebrew, right? I'm Jewish. Like, I understand it, but I'm sensitive to people that don't. I'm like, don't use Hebrew on your post.
Mhm.
Use English.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, most of it is English. I'm like, I'm not your mommy. Jacob, my partner, got really upset at me like for saying that. I'm like, we gotta keep things organic and community. Like, no, if I said this to you, like, be sensitive to people. Don't be like, well, I don't. Like, it's not about rules. It's about a community. So community moderates almost like on its own, and that's kind of like what we're trying to do with keeping in mind that we're a professional platform. So it's not about censorship. It's about following, professional decorum.
Mhm. Awesome. So, with all that said, where can people find more about what you're doing?
Bizfluence, baby. Bizfluence, Bizfluence app. or the web version, it's all being fully revamped. Like we launched and then we relaunched. So everything is being fully revamped. We've got a team of about 7 that are working on this thing. So we're building rapidly and very exciting. The main thing is, look, if you want to help, grow your business, help other people grow their businesses, come on, network with other people and get business done. That's all.
Yeah, and I just want to say last thing, just from my experience, it's been fantastic so far, and I've only been on it for like 3 days, and it's been wonderful. And I really like the different networks, like you were mentioning, that you can post in those networks. You don't have to see things that you don't want to see. There's specific tags that you can use, so you only see those things. And so, yeah, just from my brief foray into it, it's been wonderful. So I will absolutely continue to use it. So thank you, Joel, for coming on and getting a little controversial. I always love that. I think people need to hear these conversations. It's not all about being politically correct. But I love what you're building with Bizfluence. I think it's going to be a fantastic way to connect and, like you said, build real relationships and get those conversions. So I'm excited for more people to hop on and experience it. So
yeah, it's an exciting time. It's a scary time. Like it's a baby, right? It keeps you up at night. But we're building and we're seeing people connecting. We're seeing people do business, and that's what drives us. If I can help a million people earn more money, that's amazing. So that's what we're doing.
awesome. Well, thanks, Joel. I appreciate your time.
Thank you,
And
Taylor.
yeah.
All the best. Bye now.